and a little bit about Issaquah Youth Advisory Board, which is, we are the people who have organized this. And so basically we're a nonprofit organization who focus on helping the community through volunteer events, and we're the voice. So there's 3 sections of Issaquah Youth Advisory Board, and we are the section that kind of focuses on deeper issues in our community, and we organize things like this. So.
Yo, Tommy, you want to go play some one-on-one?
Dude, we're supposed to read our poem.
Hey, come on, man. It's just one game. It honestly won't take too long, because I'll beat you real quick. I'm just way too strong. I'm a magician with the ball. I just can't go wrong.
All right, Hong. You wish. I'll drain 3s on you all day. Swish. And whenever we play, you can't handle my D. If you dribble, I'll pick your pocket. You shoot it, then I'll block it. Just wait and see.
Ha! I'll cross you up so bad you'll hit the floor. Your butt on the hardwood, you'll beg for no more. The whole crowd will be filled with laughter. Afterwards, they'll hang my jersey in the rafters.
Well, that'll only happen in your dreams. To retire a jersey, you first need a team. But when we play one-on-one, I'll be impossible to stop. I'll soar through the air, an eagle, a hawk. I'll dunk on you as hard as a battering ram. It will be just like poetry. Slam.
Mommy, tuck me into bed and read me a funny bedtime story. That is what I said. Mommy, sing to me before I fall asleep and kiss me on the forehead. 11. Mom, I've already told you that everyone else has it, so why don't I get to? Anna's mom brought homemade cookies today. Anna and her mom go shopping every week. If Anna jumped off a bridge, would you say? I think I would. Oh, and I don't need to be tucked into bed anymore. I'm not a child. 14. Hey Mom, I need a ride to school. Can you hurry up? You're like not being cool. I don't know, don't ask me. Can you buy me Starbucks? I'm obviously busy right now, can't you see? When am I going to get a new phone? I don't want to do the dishes. I'm going to eat upstairs in my room alone because you're being annoying. It's like you don't even try to understand. My mom is a force of nature, strong-willed and independent. I seem to forget the fact that my mother is only human, just like everyone else. And sometimes I forget that she works too. She has bills to pay and taxes to do. I'm not the only one who feels stressed all the time, and I need to realize it should never be all about me. There was a small period of time where I always slammed my door. The amount of times I said I love you had completely diminished. And being selfish, I demanded more and more. So show your love with a hug, a compliment, or even just doing what you're told to do. Be vocal, say I love you. Now, Mom, thank you for waking me up every day. Thank you for making me coffee that tastes so good. Let's spend more time together, okay? Like mothers and daughters should. I also just wanted to say that you look great, by the way. I appreciate what you do for me, and I don't say that enough. Good night, sleep tight, I love you.
Hi, I'm not Niathi, but she was not able to make it today, so I'm reading her poem. This poem is called Ephemeral Soul. People leave. It's sad and it seems so soulless, heartless, personal, like something about you must have scared them away. Was it the fact that you listen more than you talk until, God forbid, we hit a topic you have an opinion on, and you go loud and bold, until the heads turn, the eyes fall, and you sit back down and wonder how many people's opinions have changed, how many people will look at you and remember that moment and define you by that day. It must be me, I thought, and I'd look into myself and search, a dignified Poirot, on the coattails of the culprit, standing alone, always alone, head so far into the future that the present's given up on me. Coming up so full with every flaw that I couldn't help but realize I'm not the only one, so full to the brim with expectations, stipulations, indignations. I'm not the only one who's flawed. So sure, it doesn't help that I need everyone to know that I will be great and no, it's not so good that people who are better than me scare me. But it's just people. The souls of people looking into themselves, done with you, onto what they need to do. and that's the transience of the human soul, so self-obsessed, unsatisfied, freedom-bound, autonomy tied, because you were just a part of them for when they needed you to be. People leave for them. They don't leave from you. And so you let them go and you leave for what you've got to do.
Me and him,
Him and me,
we're always together.
as you can see.
I wish he'd leave.
So I'd be free.
I'm getting a little bit,
Tired of he.
and he may be a bit
Bored with me.
on movies and
We
ladies.
cannot agree.
I like to dance.
He loves to ski.
He likes the mountains.
I love the sea.
I like hot chocolate.
He wants his tea.
I want to sleep.
He has to pee.
He's meaner and duller.
And fatter than me.
But I guess there's worse things.
We could be.
Instead of 2, we could be 3.
Me and him.
Him and me.
Close your eyes and count to 10. They tell me in through your nose and out through your mouth. They mutter, my day starts with 6 pills to keep me stable and a couple more to forget, trading pieces of my body for pieces of my mind. I wonder if I ever was what I will be. I mean, when did it all get so hard? Remember when scars were scraped knees and not helpless tragedies, and guns had they held water, not the fate of another human being? School days rushed by and a summer haze occupied our minds. Friends lasted forever instead of broken lies and shattered dreams. When did our fantasies become foreclosures and our white picket fence turn into scars to which we're imprisoned behind? This is our struggle, our daily internal struggle that starts with hope and ends with necessity. This struggle, it grows stronger as years age us. One day we will learn to drop out of the race, arms pumping, heart pounding, but a spirit as high as God. We will dodge our insecurities, replaced with luxuries, and be stripped naked of our burdens. This is where life is truly born, sworn day in and day out. It gets better, they tell us. I don't want it to. I need a change of scenery because lately I've been seeing me for just a little too long. I mean, this struggle, it makes us stronger, yes, wiser, of course, but one day our bubble will pop and we will emerge like a beat-up baby blanket, torn, tattered, stained, and worn, but full of inspiration nonetheless. I mean, where did we really all go? Humanity and nature's part like the Red Sea, hiding behind our technologies, not acknowledging our worth, so it seems to me. My days feel like years, no smiles, only tears you see here, but tears, they fade, and our hearts have this unwilling capability to fix themselves when we need them to. We mend, we adapt, adopt, so hopefully it baffles me, but we have to be worth it. You are worth high mountain views and low valley sunsets in a world and to be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to change you is the beautifulest accomplishment a man can make. So take where you've been and where you're going and acknowledge the present right in front of you, wrapped up in a bow and some string, and you pick up the card that so strongly reads, know your worth.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite poems. I didn't write it, but I thought that it deserves to be shared with you guys. It's one of the poems that made me kind of fall in love with poetry and the idea of kind of spoken poetry, so hopefully I can do it justice. It's called Silver Lined Heart by Taylor Molly. I'm for reckless abandon and spontaneous celebrations of nothing at all, like the twin flutes I kept in the trunk of my car in a box labeled emergency champagne glasses. Raise an unexpected glass to long cold winters and sweet hot summers and the beautiful confusion of the times in between. To the unexpected drenching rain that leaves you soaking wet and smiling breathless. We danced in the garden in torn sheets in the rain. We were christened in the sanctity of the sprinkler. Can't you hear it singing out? It's hallelujah. Here's to the soul-expanding power of the simply beautiful. See, things you hate, things you despise, multinational corporations and lies that politicians tell, injustices that make you as mad as hell, that's all well and good. As far as writing poems goes, I guess you should. It just might be a poem that gets Mamiya released, brings an end to terrorism, or brings peace to the Middle East. But as far as what soothes me, what inspires and moves me, Honesty behooves me to tell you that your rage doesn't move me. See, like the darkest of clouds, my heart has a silver lining that doesn't hearken to the loudest whining, but beats and stirs and grows evermore when I learn of the things that you're actually for. That's why I'm for best friends, long drives and smiles, nothing but the sound of thinking for miles. For the unconditional love of dogs, may we learn the lessons of their love by heart. For therapy when you need it, and poetry when you need it, and the wisdom to know the difference. The solution to every problem usually involves some kind of liquid, even if it's only emergency champagne or running through the sprinkler. Can't you hear it calling you? I'm for crushes not acted upon, for admiration from afar, for the delicate, the resilient, and the fragile human heart. May it always heal stronger than it was before. For walks in the woods, and the woods themselves, by which I mean the trees. Definitely for the trees. Window seats and locally brewed beer, and love letters written by hand in fountains' pens. I'm for all of these. I'm for evolution more than revolution, unless you're offering some kind of solution. I'm for the courage it takes to say yes, I believe, and I will. For the bright side, the glass half full, and the silver lining. And the optimists who consider darkness just a different kind of shining. So don't waste my time and your curses on verses about what you're against to despise and abhor. Tell me what inspires you, what fulfills and fires you. Put your precious pen to paper and tell me what you're for.
This one is called You, and it's by Miranda Kerr. It is not that we don't have the strength within us. We have more strength than we could possibly imagine. Most of us fail to see it within ourselves, yet so willingly see it in others. What if we nurtured ourselves to the point where we discovered and experienced our own greatness? What if we finally realized that we are limited only by our thoughts and by what we think is or is not possible for us? After all, that is the truth, nothing more, nothing less. It is our thoughts that determine our experiences, not only of ourselves, but of our world and of others. Too often we fail to see that at any given moment, we have a chance or a choice to alter our lives, our existence. Too often we are driven automatically by who we think we are or should be as opposed to who we possibly could be. Sometimes we choose to be angry, ungrateful, resentful, and jealous when instead we have the ability to choose to be accepting, forgiving, and grateful for all that we have. Choose, with goodness in your heart, to be brave, courageous, and adventurous in the world, and acknowledge all who are being just that, for they have overcome what may have yet to overcome, the fear of knowing who they really are. Look forward and dream of what's possible for your life. And remember that the only thing limiting you is your thoughts. Only you have the power to change your thoughts. Alter your thoughts and you alter your world.
Hi, so I'm going to be reading November by John Clare. The shepherds almost wonder where they dwell, and the old dog for his right journey stares. The path leads somewhere, but they cannot tell, and neighbor meets with neighbor unawares. The maiden passes close beside her cow, and wanders on, and thinks her far away. The plowman goes unseen behind his plow, and seems to lose his horses half the day. The lazy mist creeps on and journeys slow. The maidens shout, and wonder where they go. So dull and dark are the November days, the lazy mist high up the evening curled. And now the morn quite hides in smoke and haze. The place we occupy seems all the world.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading a poem by Shel Silverstein, and it's called Forgotten Language. So, once I spoke the language of the flowers. Once I understood each word the caterpillar said. Once I smiled in secret at the gossip of the starlings, and shared a conversation with a horsefly in my bed. Once I heard and answered all the questions of the chickens, and and joined the crying of each falling, dying flake of snow. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. How did it go? How did it go?
The poem I'm going to read is actually really long, so this is going to be interesting. It's To This Day by Shane Koizan. I watched it in the 7th grade, and it was like my absolute favorite poem. Like, I memorized it and everything, but I haven't read it since, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, this is really long. I'm getting really, anxious now. When I was a kid, I used to think that pork chops and karate chops were the same thing. I thought they were both pork chops, and because my grandmother thought it was cute, and because they were my favorite, she let me keep doing it. Not really a big deal. One day, before I realized fat kids are not designed to climb trees, I fell out of a tree and bruised the right side of my body. I didn't want to tell my grandmother about it because I was afraid I'd get in trouble for playing somewhere that I shouldn't have been. A few days later, the gym teacher noticed the bruise, and I got sent to the principal's office. From there, I was sent to another small room with a really nice lady who asked me all kinds of questions about my life at home. I saw no reason to lie. As far as I was concerned, life was pretty good. I told them, whenever I'm sad, my grandmother gives me karate chops. This led to a full-scale investigation. I was removed from the house for 3 days until they finally decided to ask how I got the bruises. News of this silly little story quickly spread through the school, and I earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops. I'm not the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhymes about sticks and stones, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we get called, and we get called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever, that we'd never meet someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in a tool shed. So broken heartstrings bled the blues as we tried to empty ourselves so we could feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something surgeons can cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize. It does. She was 8 years old. Our first day of grade 3, when she got called ugly, we both got moved to the back of the class so we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs. But the school halls was a battleground, where we found ourselves outnumbered. Day after wretched day, we used to stay inside for recess because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse running away or learn to stay still like statues, giving no clues that we were there. In grade 5, they taped a sign to her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she doesn't think she's beautiful because of a birthmark that takes up at least less than half of her face. Kids used to say she looks like a wrong answer that someone tried to erase but couldn't quite get the job done, and they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom, because they see her heart before they see her skin, that she's only always ever been amazing. He was a broken branch grafted from a different family tree. Adopted, but not because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was 3 when he became a mixed drink of 1 part left alone and 2 parts tragedy. Started therapy in 8th grade, had a personality made up of tests and pills, lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliff, 4/5 suicidal, a tidal wave of antidepressants, and an adolescence of being called pauper. 1 part because of the pills and 99 parts because of the cruelty. Tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who still had his mom and dad had the audacity to tell him get over it, as if depression is something that can be remedied by any of the contents found in a first aid kit. To this day, he is a stick of TNT lit from both ends, could describe to you in detail the way the sky bends in the moments before it's about to fall. Despite an army of kids who all call him an inspiration, he remains a conversation piece between people who can't understand. Sometimes being drug-free has less to do with action and more to do with sanity. I totally meant addiction. We weren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are being called names. The classics were hey stupid, hey spaz. Seems like every school has an arsenal of names getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks into school and no one's around to choose to hear, do they make a sound? Are they just the background noise of a soundtrack stuck on repeat when people say things like kids can be cruel? Every school is a big top circus tent, and the pecking order went from acrobats to lion tamers, from clowns to carnies. All of these were miles ahead of who we were. We were freaks, lobster-clawed boys and bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitaire, spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal. But at night, while the others slept, we kept walking the tightrope. It was practice, and yeah, some of us fell, but I wasn't I want to tell them that all of this is just debris, left over when we finally decide to smash all the things we thought we used to be. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, get a better mirror. Look a little closer. Stare a little longer. Because there's something inside you that made you keep trying, despite everyone who told you to quit. You built a cast around your broken heart and signed it yourself. You signed it they were wrong. Because maybe you don't belong to a group or a clique. Maybe they decided to pick you last for basketball or everything. Maybe you used to bring bruises and broken teeth to show and tell, but never told, because how can you hold your ground if everyone around you wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe that they were wrong. They were wrong. They have to be wrong. Why else would we still be here? We grew up learning to cheer on the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We stem from a root in the planted belief that we are not what we're called. We are not abandoned cars stalled outside and sitting empty on a highway, and if in some way we are, don't worry. We only got out to walking at gas. We are graduating members from the class of We Made It. Not the faded echoes of voices crying out names will never hurt me. Of course they did. But our lives will only ever always continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with pain and more to do with beauty.
Due to a friend's request. And as I'm coming here, my friend brought another friend who is trying to build up the courage to say her poem. And, I thought, I go first, let her build up that courage. So this one's for that friend. These are lyrics to a song called Coffee Table by Go, a local artist, Gift of the West. All right. I feel the warm light shining on my table reflected. The coffee in my stomach kept me focused and invested. But even if I didn't, I was never a big fan of it. Could never drink a can of this, but on this night I'll handle it, cause this is really nice. We're sitting by the avenue, a bunch of homie tabletops and people on a carousel. The weather isn't terrible, a little cold but bearable, but I don't really mind. In front of me is sitting you, a picture of the beautifulest girl I ever witnessed. I'm looking with my soul so my eyes won't get it twisted, cause beauty it fleets and charm and deceits, but a real woman for the Lord is the one I can keep. See, bet you didn't notice that my rhyme promoted a bunch of quotes in my memory. Your latte's a venti. You must be really thirsty. Wait, I wonder if you heard me, cause my mind goes on tangents. And I promise that's perfectly fine and it's real, and I hope you never finish the coffee in your cup, cause this conversation's endless. And it really is a blessing, like a time of adolescence. In my mind I'm feeling destined, reflection of a crescent, sitting on the lake, and so my mind it takes a picture. The coffee's going quicker, you're like sugar to my bitterness. This is the perfect intervention. Every second is a way deeper connection. Looking in your eyes is like a moment steady frozen. We feel like two boats drifting in the ocean. I feel the warm light shining and it's perfect. Take a sip from my cup and these verses come to mind like a letter that I wrote ya. On the tabletop I see a latte and a mocha. Yo, I hear the passion in your voice and it sorta kinda gets me. The kind of voice that I miss when life tries to test me. Stress free, maybe, but feeling kinda crazy. Think about the future while the present's under my tree. And I ain't open none of them, but waiting for ya. Instead of rainy corners, you're like sunny California, alright? And you're shining like an ornament. I'm feeling kind of fortunate. Write it in my heart so I could really make a song of it. We taking off into the stars inside a spaceship. The way you compliment my patterns like a bass hit. And we're just soaring through the planets of our galaxy. Excuse the different calories of drinks, they're just casualties. Looking in your eyes, I can see you're so attentive, independent, so I'm pensive by the minute. And I check your collection of your MP3s. You got a bunch of Soul Child and some TLC. And maybe this is just a moment that'll pass us by. Floating in the sky, we could live like we never tried, but I could never live a life that's so bland and ordinary. Invitations had to fall on my heart. I hear the loud steps coming like they're closing down the shop up. It's around 10 o'clock, and we just started talking about us. The cup is empty, and you slowly start to fade away. I hear my cell phone pumping out an 808. What is this? Out of all the nights this could have happened, had to catch me napping. When I had a deeper interaction, I thought I met you. I guess I haven't yet. It's time to document my dreams, paint the future best. Yeah.
Okay, so this poem is called Compliments Does Not Equal a Cat Call. It's by R.I.D.
My name is Baby, and you lean out of your car and spit it at my feet, and it lands in a puddle in front of me, and I am 13 and in a suburban neighborhood on the way home from school, and I gag and run with my backpack banging like the echo of your words against my back, like you were chasing me all the way home. My name is Sweetie, and I am 15 in the city with my friends for the first time, and we get a little lost, and you follow us for a full block. You name my friends Honey and Darling, and why won't you talk to me? My name is Nice Ass, and it's 2 in the afternoon, and I still feel my heart slam against my ribs because I am under 150 pounds, and I have weak lungs and weaker fists, and while you saunter down the steps, swinging the beer bottle in your fist, my father, who's walking behind me, shouts, "She's 17!" And maybe I'm near my family, but I don't feel safe until we're home again. My name is Jailbait, and my friend is laughing, and we just graduated high school, and we feel like we're on the brink of something beautiful and terrifying, and she is in heels, and about to throw up, and you name her Drunk Enough, and I have to physically drag you off, and when we go home, she cries for 4 hours because a night that should have been just teenage fun almost resulted in the end of her trust of humanity. My name is Look at That Rack, and we are on a college campus, and the boy I am with holds onto my waist just a little tighter while you drive up next to me. You name him Thug and throw a bottle at his forehead. I can't stop shaking until long after it's over. He says, "It happens," and I say, "It shouldn't." My name is Damn Girl, and we're walking down the street. There are 10 of you and 2 of us, and you snap a picture when you think we're not looking. You tell us to come inside or you'll screw us on the street. You will all laugh like this is funny. This is a compliment. This is just something boys do to get ladies. My name is Little Lady. My name is Fine Miss. My name is Screw You and Screw Your Friends. My name is Look Me in the Face. My name is Stop Frowning. My name is Smile. My name is Why Did You Even Glance at Him? You Were Asking for It. My name is This Is a Compliment. So I looked it up. According to Oxford, that's a polite expression of praise or admiration, and I think you've got the definitions mixed up. My name is Pretty Thing. My name takes nice words and turns them into bullet wounds. My name is Nice Body, and no girl I have known has ever dated a man who catcalled her. My name is Great Rack, and it turns out that if you shout things at a stranger, they sound like knives more than flowers. My name is Women Like You Never Know Their Place, and every single nice thing you say to a woman is something you'd never utter to another man, because you know it's derogatory. My name is Princess, and a reason to get put in prison, and if another man spoke to your mother, sister, girlfriend like that, you'd kill him. My name is Sexy, and every time I hear someone raising their voice, I am 13 again, and I don't know who you are, and I'm running home with a weight on my shoulders, and your words like a slap to my spine, and your laughter like a hanging. I am scared and alone, and suddenly so small. And compliments are supposed to make me feel good, not afraid for my life. Compliments are a way of saying I care and appreciate you, and I thought you should know it, and if you really meant it as a compliment, you'd care about how I would take it. But you don't mean it like that. You mean it to show off. You mean it to make us object. You mean it to shove our names into your back pocket so you can tell your friends, I saw the hottest little thing yesterday, and they can groan about how we just walked away because you don't see us go home with keys in our fists and all the lights on, and we keep 911 dialed just in case, and we triple check our locks, and we don't fall asleep at all because your compliment knocked us over and took who we are. If we're all saying it doesn't sound like a compliment, it sounds like a threat, if you really wanted to make us feel good, wouldn't you stop doing it?
Hello. I'm going to be reading a poem called Other Lives and Dimensions, and finally a love poem. I didn't write it, but it's one of my favorite poems. My left hand will live longer than my right. The rivers of my palms tell me so. Never argue with rivers. Never expect your lives to finish at the same time. I think praying, I think clapping is how hands mourn. I think staying up and waiting for paintings to sigh is science. In other dimensions, this is exactly what's happening. It's what they write grants about, the chromodynamics of mournful whistlers and the audible sorrow of beta decay of Battersea Bridge. I like the idea of different theirs and elsewheres, an Idaho known for bluegrass, a Bronx where people smell like violets, where people talk like violets smell. Perhaps somewhere else I am patient somehow kind, perhaps in the nook of a cousin universe. I've never defiled or betrayed anyone. Here I have 2 hands and they are vanishing, the hollow of your back to rest my cheek against, your voice and little else but my assiduous fear to cherish. My hands are webbed like the wind-torn work of a spider, like the squeeze something into the womb but couldn't hang on. One of those other worlds, or a life I felt passing through mine, or the ocean inside my mother's belly she had to scream out. Here when I say I never want to be without you, somewhere else I am saying I never want to be without you again. And when I touch you, in each of the places that we meet, and all of the lives that we are,
It's with the hands that are dying and resurrected. When I don't touch you, it's a mistake in any life, in each place, and forever.
Okay, so we just want to thank the Issaquah Coffee Company for hosting, the judges for coming out, and everyone who came to the Poetry Slam. And now we're going to invite our judges to announce the winners.
All right. All very impressive. Some of them original, some of them just you guys. I think it's cool to hear that you guys like poems enough that you want to come up here and read them out to us. So thank you guys for what you brought for us. Our third place poem today, taking home a $5 gift certificate to this very coffee house, goes to Ephemeral Soul by Niyathi Chakrapani. I'm sure I mispronounced it, but that's the best I have. So congratulations to her.
Okay, and we want to say again, thank you guys for sharing all of this with us today. It's wonderful to see so many young people appreciating poetry in their free time. Wonderful, something of an understatement. Our second place winning poem today, again getting a $5 gift card to this very coffee company, is 7-11-14 Now by Elle. So round of applause for Elle.
Okay, in first place, the $10 gift certificate to the Issaquah Coffee Company goes to Know Your Worth by Tia. Congratulations, Tia. I'm going to make Tia come up and grab it. There you go.
So, we would just like to let you guys know that the winning poem is going to get published in the Issaquah Press. So look forward to that, and everyone look at the Issaquah Press for the next month and you'll see her poem. So we just wanted to say thank you so much, everyone, for coming and celebrating poetry and just being present here, because this means a lot to a lot of people, and it was great for you guys to support this cause. And we also wanted to say thank you again to Issaquah Coffee Company for hosting us, and have a good night, everyone.